Namaste, angels. This is the weekly love reading for Sunday, July 31st, or I'm sorry, 30th, today, through Saturday, August 5th. And I just had a change of mind and heart. I'm going to begin with my crossbread. That's not what I changed my mind about. I was going to use this for my spread of 9. And I just decided I'm going to use it for the crossbread. Beginning with Contemplation, or the Hermit, with Abelard and Eloise. Abelard was a monk who fell in love and gave up his vow of celibacy in order to be with the woman of his dreams, and then wrote a book about it. Opening to Dido and Aeneas, Oppression, or the Tower in this deck. Dido and Aeneas were in love, but Aeneas wanted to travel the world more so than to be with Dido. So she committed suicide, actually. This burning here, she built herself a funeral pyre atop there, like is mentioned in the song, Come On Baby, Light My Fire. They talk about how they might as well like burn a funeral pyre if they're not going to be together, basically. That's what she did. This is the Tower. Abelard and Eloise, Contemplation. Opening to the Seven of Cups. Fantasizing, maybe some one-night stands for some people, because I saw in the general reading, particularly the masculine initially, ants in the pants. And then it became part of the root where it could go either way. You guys may want to watch that. A lot of really, really nice messages in the general reading. This also, yeah, fantasizing, one-night stands, a decision that needs to be made, perhaps something involving family and or children. Seven of Cups. Opposite the Hermit, or Contemplation, it may be having to do with, whether or not to give up your previous ideals in order, to go after your heart's desires. And now coming to the Seven of Coins. This is about planting seeds and then being patient, patiently waiting for them to grow so that we can reap what we've sown, whatever that is, good, bad, And we've also got 7 opposite 7 here. The 7 of Cups opposite the 7 of Coins. 7 of Cups back. I'll go one more. It's the King of Coins in reverse. There are reversals in this deck. Seven of Cups. I'm going to cut. As I spoke about briefly in the general, the Divine Light Cleanse continues to amaze and to help to save lives. I've started a page for it on Facebook, its own page, Divine Light Cleanse, where people who have had it or people who are interested in it can go. People who've had it, who, if they wish to share their thoughts and their experiences, they're free to do that there. Some indeed have. Everybody that has had it is thrilled with it. They've had all kinds of different progress, physical health improvements, emotional health improvements, coming together with family with whom they had broken ties, being able to walk away from situations they needed to walk away from, partners, divine partners coming together. Weeks ago they weren't speaking, just a couple of weeks ago. And now they're like considering moving in and all that kind of stuff. Spending time together, days, weeks at a time. It's really, really a beautiful thing. Okay, I've come to the Prince of Coins in reverse here. The overall energy is the Seven of Coins in reverse. This can be impatience, lack of confidence that we're going to reap the benefits of our work, maybe lack of self-esteem. We don't believe we're deserving of reaping the benefits of our efforts, whether it be love or money. Preceding this, we had that Prince of Coins in reverse, that can be about inaction. So where I was just talking moments before that about the Hermit, and maybe that continuing to show up because some people having to decide whether or not they're going to go after their heart, follow their hearts, or, maintain ideals and belief systems that don't really work for them anymore, with which their heart is conflicted. So that that Prince of Coins in reverse could be indicating that some are inactive, at least at the moment. They're immobile. They haven't made a decision. They're not moving on it. Haven't taken action. Maybe even lazy about it. Knowing that they need to do something, but just not doing anything. In the general reading, I also talked about, as always, all the stuff that's going on in the celestial system this week that may affect us. The Lion's Gate, all the retrogrades, a couple of transits, the moon next week that we may begin to feel toward the end of this week. All those kind of things. There was some spiritual energy as well. This week we have the 9th of Av on the Hebrew calendar. And so that's like a period of mourning and redemption surrounding the destruction of the temples in Jerusalem. But next week is the other part of it. It's the celebratory part, and it's that celebration of soulmates that I told you guys about, that's been going on since King Solomon, the days of King Solomon, and the women of Jerusalem sort of making it known that they were available and interested, and the young men of Jerusalem choosing brides on that date, the 15th of Av. That is next week. It is the same day as the new moon in Aquarius, the 7th of August. So all of that, we may begin to feel some of this stuff toward the end of the week, especially since toward the end of the week, some of the stuff that's going on in the celestial system also kicks in. We have Jupiter in a sextile with Pluto. Pluto, which is one of the planets that is in retrograde. Jupiter still in its shadow. It went direct on June 9th, but it's still in retrograde shadow and doesn't exit for some time. So all of these things may affect us. We also have this, it falls into this week and into this reading. In addition to the 9th of Av, we have a celebration of Mary on the 5th, which is Saturday. It is a big celebration about the first and largest basilica that was built to her in Rome. And the following day, the 6th, which is the Sunday, and falls into next week's reading, is the celebration, the Feast of the Transfiguration, which is Jesus on the mountain, appearing before witnesses, St. James, St. John, I think St. Andrew. There was a third, I can't remember who it was right now. And while he was there on the mountain, he covered in his full glory, glowing in light, Elijah and Moses joined him, and they conversed. And again, this was witnessed. That's the Feast of the Transfiguration. So all of these things can contribute to what we experience in love this week. Hopefully, especially the soulmate connections, right? The divine connections. Okay. The feminine, balance, Venus and Vulcan. Maybe I'll turn them over and then explain them. The masculine with regard to this is pretty self-explanatory. It's balance upright, and so it is the feminine coming into a good place and beginning to feel good about herself. It means a little bit something different as it relates specifically to love in this deck, according to the author. So maybe I'll add that part in a moment too. The masculine with regard to the feminine, the King of Coins. this is representing in love, coins and court cards, longevity, relationships that can go a long way. Like we're never breaking up when you see this. And it's somebody that's warm and sensitive and caring and compassionate. Even though it's showing up as the king, this is male or female, and you know, it's interchangeable. And this is how the masculine is seeing us this week. Also, seeing the feminine as somebody that's very successful. You know, a go-getter. The masculine about himself. The Prince of Cups in reverse. Tristan and his baby. The Prince of Cups in reverse is somebody who isn't very much impressed by love. Like they're kind of closed off to it. They're more superficial than, you know, going within, than emotional and looking inside. They just want beauty and fast it's like satisfaction. Quick, let's get to the point, you know, bang, bang, and that's it, basically. Prince of Cups in reverse. The masculine with regard to the union. Ooh, a burden? Burdensome? Too heavy to carry. It's too much for him. It's overwhelming. Very interesting. I don't think I should turn over anymore. I think this is enough. This Prince of Cups in reverse, and it might be why this triangle is here. I'm beginning with triangle when I use the hashtag creepy deck, and it was weird for me because, again, if you see the general, triangle didn't fit, but I guess I'm seeing now where it may, because this Prince of Cups also can be like overly indulgent in fantasy, and maybe that's why the Seven of Cups showed up before. Fantasizing, one night stands, just not what he's doing, where this is not one of the masculine that is, you know, moving toward union, because a lot of them are by themselves too. I want you to know. This only applies to specific one, you know, some. Where they are sort of out and about, it's only for like some kind of quick, like a quick fix where it comes to, and it needs healing. There's Raphael. Quick fix where it comes to a feminine energy, you know, hooking up basically. So it can be one night stands. It can be spending time with karmic partners, but about whom like there is no love there. There is no love there. It's just going through the motions and a lot of sexual energy. And this Prince of Cups may specifically be a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. Although it does not have to be, but it may be very well be a water sign. Who's going through that the most. The Venus and Vulcan with balance, again, it is about balance, but I'm going to, let me get the book and read you what it says there, because this book has like cute stories too. Balance, okay, I'm glad I came to it quickly. Traditional card, Temperance. Lovers pictured here, Venus and Vulcan. Keywords, harmony, self-control, equilibrium, artistry. Venus was first worshipped as a nature goddess associated with the arrival of spring, only later gaining notoriety for her sensual exploits. To balance her natural exuberance, the gods wed her to Vulcan, the lame god of the forge. So he was like, he's like the wallflower that pops up in the hashtag creepy deck, and she's like the dating queen. Venus did not appreciate her husband's skillful craftsmanship, and she did not hesitate to share her affections with others. Triangle. So maybe this is, well, this is the masculine about himself, but it can be some, females as well of the masculine persuasion, sharing themselves with others. Despite this, Venus and Vulcan's marriage endured. Each was necessary to the other, as opposites often are. So the two of these cards here together about the fact that opposites attract, for a more positive perspective, and how this can apply to others. The masculine and the feminine being two very, very different people. And that's why they come together so beautifully. Meanings when this card is upright: integration and moderation, balance between opposites, union of the conscious and unconscious aspects of the psyche. Overall, the Five of Staves in reverse. I like the Five of Staves in reverse. It's sort of like the end of conflict, overcoming this difficult energy of conflict. The outcome. Tower. Well, Tower is not always bad, though, at least not for me. It's more of a neutral energy. But in this deck, since I told you what it meant, maybe I'll read this one too so you guys can hear the story from the perspective of the little booklet instead of my head. Yeah, it's about missing the opportunity to come together in this particular deck. What would the masculine have the feminine do or contribute, surrender toward the union with regard to love this week? Let go of her belief systems, maybe, and instead follow her heart. Contemplation. I think actually according to the author, when it's in reverse is when we're sort of holding fast to our ideals and belief systems rather than letting them go. And then when it's upright, we're letting them go. The masculine, what is he willing to do or surrender toward the union as it relates to love this week? I love how this is crossing the Prince of Cups in reverse. Letting go of all these fantasies, realizing this is not how I want to be. Except where it relates to being, the polar opposite of the feminine in there, or the mirror opposite, and that's what draws them together. Where it relates to this overindulgence in fantasy, it shows up here crossing the Seven of Cups, and he's ready to be done with this. That in itself can be a tower. It might be a complete change of heart for him. Maybe he's letting go of some of this Mars, very masculine love and sometimes aggressive, maybe in a negative way. Mars, a ruler of Scorpio. Maybe he's releasing some of that and coming more into his feminine too, for balance. What would the universe have the two of us to do or surrender toward the union this week as it relates to love? Temptation in reverse, or the devil, Paolo and Francesca in reverse. So I'm going to get the book again because, again, these have cute little stories. I've already read you Balance. I am going to read Contemplation. It's supposed to be in reverse. Oppression upright, and Temptation in reverse. Contemplation. Traditional card, the Hermit. Lovers, Abelard and Eloise. Keywords, withdrawal, introspection, retreat. Peter Abelard was a famed and brilliant theologian and a teacher during the medieval ages. Abelard quickly became known for his mastery of philosophical dialogue and independence of thought. He even went against church policy and took positions sympathetic to pagan traditions. However, it was his love for Eloise that caused the biggest scandal. The story of their forbidden love is set out in Abelard's Year 1130 or 1130 book, The History of My Calamities. Meanings when this card is in reverse: distracted by the world, ignoring your intuition, superficiality, feeling unconnected with your heart. So letting go of that, I guess, as he is willing to do this week, to move toward the union. And oppression. Traditional card, the Tower, Lovers, Dido and Aeneas. Keywords: depression, difficulties, release. Queen Dido of Carthage was walking upon the beach when she found Aeneas and his soldiers. She was charmed by the handsome stranger and soon fell in love. Aeneas loved Dido in return, but he was a man with a cause larger than the love he could bear for any woman. He claimed it was the gods' will that he journeyed to found a new Troy in Italy. Distraught, Dido built a funeral pyre at the top of a tall tower and set fire to it. As Aeneas' ship coasted off into the sea, Dido climbed the tower and lay down upon the pyre. Meanings when this card is upright: feeling overwhelmed or oppressed by circumstances or emotion. Confusion, inability to change our lives for the better. So feeling stuck. A pause before moving into a new phase of life, on a more positive note. And this feeling stuck could very well be why the universe wants us to temptation or the devil in reverse. Because upright, the devil in the tarot does represent feeling stuck. I'll read this one now. Let me turn to it. Temptation. Traditional card, the Devil, Lovers, Paolo and Francesca. Keywords: inner turmoil, obsession. Francesco da Polenta of Ravenna was married to Giovanni Malatesta to strengthen their family's political bonds. But there was one problem. Francesco loved Giovanni's brother, the handsome Paolo. Tempted by love, Francesca and Paolo's story could only end in sorrow. These true events inspired the poet Dante, who had a vision of Paolo tenderly embracing Francesca to protect her against the forces swirling about them in Hades. Dante retold their sad story in his book Inferno. It's the first book of the Divine Comedy. Meanings when this card is reversed: freedom from temptation, experiencing the envy of others, and transforming a weakness into strength. So here's our weakness crossing, at least for the masculine, and for this feeling of being burdensome. And he is relinquishing that. He is letting that go. Here is the feminine, perhaps holding on to belief systems and ideologies of old, and being afraid to move, afraid to take action, although coming into balance and beginning to understand herself and her conscious and subconscious, level those out, both parts of her psyche, still holding on to some old stuff. This helps us, the universe guides us here to let go of this and really step into this, how the masculine is viewing us as this, force to be reckoned with, this go-getter, this very successful person, this person to be proud of. We should be proud of as well. And I'm happy to see this too. Masculine letting go of his burdens, laying them down. This turned up actually in the general reading as well as part of the spread. The masculine laying down his burdens this week. All right, so next spread now. Again, begin with triangle and the hashtag creepy deck. Opening to union. So maybe letting go of this to give way for this. Triangle. True love. Opposite the triangle now. Yep. Triangle. Control. Feeling stuck like a puppet. That was triangle in reverse. And long distance in reverse. Maybe some people coming out of separation. That's been going on a lot. Continuing to do that. Triangle. And one more. Young female, the redhead. Triangle showing up in reverse yet again. Oh, goodness. The overall energy is that wallflower I was talking about, and I had a young male leap out of my hand and onto the floor, so I left him out. Masculine. Boom. Triangle. Right out of the gate. Surrounded by children, family. So maybe for some of them, this is their child's mother or something. Child or children's mother. Short-term situation still continuing between them, working his way out of it. Spilling out those cups of the extra choices. He's not interested. Feminine. Mature man. This too could have something to do with Mars. Or some of us in a situation with a masculine, not necessarily male, masculine energy that is older, or maybe we are older than our counterpart. That also coming through. And or this could have something to do with your father, although this is the love reading, somehow maybe intruding upon the union. And in that case, no, it's not a love triangle, but there is three energies, a third energy that's getting in the way. And that can be the case here too. It can be one of his parents also making a showing in the general reading as well. Feminine, surrounded by soulmate. That could be who this is, right? Her present or former partner. Somebody of whom she needs to let go to make way for new too. In the feminine subconscious, passion. So this is what she wants. This is about what she's thinking. Crowning. Young female sitting here in the middle of the triangle and the mature man. At the root. Family crossing children. This is what's motivating some of us. In other cases, this is what's holding us back. Family. And again, we can take that to mean a few things. It can be our parents, our children, whatever our personal dynamic is. Family also a major theme in the general reading. At the heart of the matter, the Ice Queen, Venus. And she's got her back to the children here and to the young man where, based on where I laid him down. some potential meanings for this week. Venus and Mars, two planets of love, both very active. Venus making a Venus in a square with Uranus, but Venus, planet of love. So depending upon where it falls in your chart, that could have some meaning. Mars, the masculine planet of love, also again connecting sextile with Jupiter toward the end of the week. That could be the two of them showing up here, and we'll only have a short time when we'll be able to take advantage of that, if appropriate, depending upon where in our personal chart it falls. Another possibility, temporarily turning her back to the idea of family and moving forward, and or turning her back to triangle. Maybe she's not interested in anything right now. The feminine, just shutting down. I actually had like a period of this myself, and not in a negative sense. Well, you know, I think about it as kind of more neutral. Everybody's free to decide for themselves what they think. But I know, I'm fully aware that I myself had put up a wall between myself and my divine masculine. And that wall was because when we had been in separation, I was going through a lot of different things at the time. I was graduating from school. My mother had been ill, like over the holiday, Christmas, New Year. All of these things happening in my life. And I went to school like right after I got laid off from my job. And I had been working steady, same place, just about 22 years. And then I went straight to school for 2 years. And then I had all these other things going on. So I just didn't want, I wanted a short-term break. You know, if I wasn't going to have everything pleasant, if I was going to have to be made to deal with triangle or, you know, issues regarding family or whatever, as it related to my divine masculine, I wasn't interested at that moment. I only wanted to be happy. I only wanted peace because I had too many things going on, like fighting with my school. I won't go into all of it, but, you know, like right up to the day before I was to graduate, there was like foolishness going on with that. And I did this. I was the ice queen with my back to everything. And so maybe there's more of us out there just purposely, not unlike the other spread demonstrated that the masculine may be doing this week in particular. Maybe in some cases it's reactionary to the feminine having turned her back. The next card is in reverse. I was going to pull it. You know what? Let's see what the romance angels might add to this. Maybe we can get some of these cards to connect. Beginning with calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. And opening to that soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. Calling in your soulmate. Let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. Calling in your soulmate. Make the effort. Don't do this. Turning your back to. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Calling in your soulmate. And give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. Again, don't do this. Calling in your soulmate. I don't want to be mistaken that at any point I cease to adore my divine masculine. That didn't happen. I still do, will always have, you know, from the moment I've been awakened to the whole thing, absolutely adored him. But like I said, I just had a lot of personal stuff going on. So similar to what the masculine tends to do as the quote unquote runner, I put up an energy of blocking. And I guess essentially at the time, our partnership had 2 runners simultaneously, right? The both of us, which is interesting. But for us and for many others, very soon, if we clearly decide what we want, something much better will come to us now. The overall energy is playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So that was confession time, because I didn't tell you guys that it wasn't that I was holding it back, but I guess at the same time it was probably best that I didn't. You know, when I'm giving you this guidance, and thankfully I'm able to, as a Queen of Swords, we're able to see all different sides. I'm able to like block out my own personal what I was doing, and still see the positive, you know, see all the positive aspects of this, and of just loving. I was just tired. My soul, my being was tired with all of the things that were going on at once, and how I had been nonstop for 24 years, essentially. Playfulness. Here atop the triangle, trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. Like this faith in the case where the masculine is working that out, removing it. It's short term, and he's pulling himself out of this situation. He's going to have trust that he's doing the right thing and that he's capable of it. He's capable of finally putting an end to, you know, foolishness, fuckery that's been going on too long, overstaying his welcome in a situation that should have ended by now. Making a decision, standing by it, grabbing his balls, all that kind of stuff. He's going to have to trust in himself, have some confidence, have some esteem. And he's also going to have to trust in the feminine that, yes, she too will be open to the relationship, that the union exists and will find itself, will come back into balance when and as it's meant. Boom. Okay, I said probably the mother of the children, some sort of ex or something here atop the children. Release your ex, masculine. Okay, cut away the triangle. The time has come to clear your energy. Atop the short term, okay, days are numbered for the hashtag karmic or quote unquote karmic. Past life relationship, you've known each other before, but yeah, the continuing of it, it's short term. So another reason why in the meantime, perhaps Lady Venus herself or the divine feminine, or even the masculine in some cases, with his back, her back, just to everything, just like, leave me alone right now. Let me get myself together. The feminine here, a top mature man, you deserve love. You are lovable. And a top soulmate. Let go of control issues and allow this situation to unfold naturally. This mature man can be representing someone who is controlling you. Or it could be your energy. You could be acting like an old stick in the mud and trying to manipulate everything. This can be you maybe exhibiting some Mars in Leo energy. A few different possibilities there with regard to the control issue. And here, a top passion. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. So embrace you like this first. Crowning atop the young female, worth waiting for she is. Divine timing is at work in your love life. When divine timing's at work, it does require patience. Waiting for those seeds to grow. Here, atop family, give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. This can be your new family, the family that is made up of this partnership. Even if it's just the two of you. Give this a chance. Here, crossing, release the X. So let go of this family situation that was here, whatever that dynamic was, to make room for this new one. And at the heart of the matter, atop the Ice Queen, she's going to turn around. I told you. Reconciliation at the heart of the matter. Someone from your past is returning to your life. Her back being turned is only short term, or was only short term. And, you know, you're going to be together again. Some more advice from the Tony Carmine Salerno Universal Love Oracle, beginning with abundance. Perhaps more Venus, Queen of Earth. An opening to meditation, so that we can make those decisions and gain some clarity of mind, balance out our conscious and subconscious psyche, you know, all of those things that we discussed before. Meditation, healing sounds, clearing out the sacral chakra perhaps to make way for the reconciliation, removing old energy from past partners outside of the union to make way for the appropriate one. Healing sounds, blessings being bestowed upon us from Mother Mary by way of love in all forms and abundance in all forms. Healing sounds and retreat. So more need to connect with Earth, Venus in her Taurus element, and perhaps to not only do the meditating and listening to healing sounds, but doing that outside where, you know, we live in an area that is conducive to that. I'll go one more. Answer prayer. A big yes from the angels. This is what you wanted, and you're getting it. Retreat. Trilogy of Light. This is the two of us together, the two divine partners respectively, trying to grow nearer and dearer to the universe and become a trinity with it. Overall energy this week is transience, allowing ourselves to be healed in all areas by the universe, going into full surrender, full vulnerability, bare down to our pure essence before the universe. Eyes closed, full surrender. Yes, please heal me. Thank you. And advice from that oracle, Tony Carmine Salerno Universal Love, to the masculine. Celebration. There's going to be cause for celebration because, yeah, we're making major strides this week in our romantic situations and in our family dynamics. I actually have a couple of clients that had the cleanse. Okay, one quick example of a scenario, something like this. Masculine had been living with a karmic with his two adolescent children that are not children of the quote unquote karmic. He already had no longer been with their mother. So this was another woman, but they were all living with her happily, I guess, for a time. That time came to an end. my client had the cleanse. They went from last month with her being in a panic and paranoid that they were never going to get back together to this week they spent and had a nice vacation together. And, they made things official. They reconciled and, they're a couple officially. That's the kind of thing that can be going on here with releasing an ex and releasing a family type situation, a family dynamic, however yours is made up, to make way for a new one. So now he'll be forming a family with, my client, his divine feminine, and his children, and, her children as it applies. I don't think her children would live with them. They're grown, but family nonetheless, coming together. So just an example of that, and certainly cause and reason for celebration. Here, golden memories, feminine. What we need to do is let go, not just of control issues, but of this old stuff that's attached to our karmic situation, this mature man that was a soulmate perhaps, and only take the positive lessons, memories, our children, and move forward from that. Leave like anything that was baggage, that was negative emotion, negative cords of attachment, fear, ego, resentment, regret, hurt. Leave all that behind. Only the golden memories is what we want. The lessons, the positive stuff. From the hashtag creepy deck to the masculine, new love. That's cause for celebration too. We're starting all over again, out with this old negative stuff. Let them go on to new love too. Let's everybody be happy. New love. For the feminine, okay, letting us know that this is what we need to let go of. The control, where we are trying to manipulate things, including myself, turning my back, purposely putting up a wall, trying to protect myself. I don't want any more aggravation right now during this period. I only want happy. So just in case I'm going to put up a wall, yeah, let's stop all of that. Let things happen. Let the trust in the universe and let things flow naturally. From and I have to make sure I pick this up right because there are reversals in this deck. I'm going to pick it up like this. From the Lover's Path Tarot to the masculine. Tradition with Romeo and Juliet. This is the Hierophant, the High Priest. This is about commitment in many cases, coming together, forming a new family. Other meanings of this card in this particular deck can be holding on to ideologies and old belief systems that are traditional as opposed to just going with the flow. And I'll read this to you from the book and you can see how it applies to you because it's another one with a cute little story, although most of us know the story of Romeo and Juliet. To the feminine from the Lover's Path Tarot, 10 of Arrows, upright. So the end of a difficult situation, but we're going through that end now. We haven't overcome this yet, but we will. There had been some betrayal, some hurt, some distrust, and that can be another reason why this Ice Queen has her back to the masculine. I equate Ice Queen with air sign. So certainly like myself, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, and these arrows would also reflect our energy. So that can be the case here. Somebody, perhaps an air sign, or somebody taking on those traits was betrayed or did some betraying toward the feminine, but that coming to an end this week for those to whom it applies. From the romance angels to the feminine, make the effort. So turn around. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Let the wall down. And to the masculine, finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. And if the general reading has anything to say about it, they're a good factor. Money didn't show up here. In this, it's not reflected here, but check out that reading. There's plenty of pentacles going on there. And now, as promised, I will read Romeo and Juliet tradition for you guys. Tradition, the Hierophant, lovers, Romeo and Juliet. Keywords, structure, conformity, ritual. Romeo and Juliet are considered the quintessential example of star-crossed lovers, trapped by their families, traditional hatred for each other. Their love could only have a tragic ending. Sad as their tale may be, the love of Romeo and Juliet did bring an end to the tradition of intolerance that plagued their families, right? Everyone, after they realized what they'd done, decided to move on toward happiness. Okay, we can save ourselves the tragic part and just move on toward happiness. It gave way to a new tradition of peace and understanding. Amen. Meanings when this card is upright. Following established social structures in love relationships, the desire for marriage or some other formal structure for the sake of security, awareness of public image, and the desire to control it, possibly rigidity. So we don't want that. But as far as the desire to be in a traditional commitment and maybe even get married, I don't think there's much wrong with that at all. I hope that you guys enjoyed this week's love reading. Namaste, angels.